راح اليوم تقدم السمينار الأستاذ كاوة قادر مدرس مساعد بقسم اللغة الإنجليزية، فليتفضل بتقديم السمينار.
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome. I'm happy to see you all here. Because I have my time limit is very short. It is according to this seminar, so we are not used to talk for 20 minutes, but to more than this. I'm going to be a bit quick and simple as possible. So the title of the seminar is Do's and Don'ts for teaching English language learners. Actually, it's the title, but it's not only for English language learners, it's for any language learners. It can be Arabic, Kurdish, but because the context was English language, that's why I didn't want to change the title of the seminar. Before I start, I just like to explain do's and don'ts. It means what is good to do and what is not good to do, what we have to do and what we have to avoid while we are teaching English. Okay. Actually, thanks for Mr. Hardawan for introducing. So there is no need to explain all this. So, but one more thing, I'm a lecturer, assistant lecturer at Salahuddin University. I'm also a lecturer here at Bayan University, Department of Law. So, I directly go to, this is very important because this is related to the citation, where I got the sources of the seminar. Actually, it is, I have my own style. I read for my career development, for my professional development. So when I read a book or when I read some articles, every now and then I'd like to, the information that I get from the book, from the readings that I do, I'd like to make it a seminar for the faculty members, for students, and for anyone who's related in a way or another to the field of teaching. So that's why Kathy and Larry are the co-authors of a book which is about teaching English. Okay. Again, quickly, what am I going to talk about in this seminar is it's a few basic practices for students and let's say, and some worst practices. So we have best practices, worst practices, what to do, what not to do. So let's start. Number one, as a teacher, when you are teaching English or any language, what to do, what's good to do. So, and by the way, the do's are in green color and the don'ts are in red color. So the red colors are dangerous, we have to avoid. And the green colors are, it's, you have the way, you just go for it. Okay, modeling. Modeling, it means before you ask students to do something, do not just throw away or just spread instructions. Show them how to do, demonstrate by action what to do before you ask them to do something. Okay, for example, whether it is an activity or skill, that's it. How are we going to do it? How are you going to model for students? You do something before they do it. You show them as an example by explaining and demonstrating, acting out. You show them and sharing your thinking out loud. I'd like to talk to say something about this. Sometimes we need something in our mind. We require students to do something in our mind, but students or pupils, learners, they do not understand what are we asking them. They don't know. We think that they understand us, but they don't understand us. So that's why we have to, what we think, we have to tell them by action. We have to demonstrate, we have to act out. Okay, and showing good teacher and student work samples. Sometimes, before they do it, the activity, the task, you can model it with a student in front of all the class, and so that after that they can follow your steps for the activity. And what not to do, they don't. Don't just tell students what to do and expect them to do it. Don't expect when you say it, they will do it. No, because they don't know. They need guide, they need instructions. That is it. That woman is the teacher, and that one is a student. They are going to show the students what to do. And after that, students can follow them, or maybe can imitate, no problem. That's one of the pointers, which is modeling. Okay. Why modeling is important? It promotes learning and motivation, the desire to do something. It increases self-confidence. This is very important. When the teacher does it, so a teacher becomes just like a student for them, and there is no shy, no embarrassment to do it after the teacher. That is number one. Another point to do while teaching language: rate of speech and wait time. So that picture. So which one is the student, which one is the teacher? If I ask this question, or maybe, and I ask you to keep your questions to the end of the seminar, which one is supposed to be the teacher? Which one is supposed to be the turtle? The turtle is what? Student. And the teachers are very fast, because they think that students are just like him. No, or her. No. Rate of speech, we have to slow down our speech when we are talking, not like just like, maybe I'm talking a bit fast. We have to slow down, not talk too fast, because they are learning language. They are not listening for the content. Okay. And this is, sorry, the students, this is turtles because they are very slow. So teachers, this is a sarcastic, this is a caricature for, no, we have to slow down. That's number one.
Do they have to be SMS student?
No, that's a good question. Okay, for example, students, this is the level of students, and this is, for example, the level of teacher. So that's a good question. Do teachers need to be at the same level of students here? Actually, no, but a bit above, a little, not very much, because they cannot reach you. So teacher, lower your level here and take the students with you, and then a bit, then come back, lower, and then take students with you to move up level by level. Okay. Rate speech. Speak slowly, clearly. You have to be very clear, not very fast. And by the way, some teachers, I'd like to say something, because I've been teaching for 4 years. I think it's a good enough experience to say this. Some teachers, they're practicing language inside classroom. Classroom is not the place for practicing language for teachers. You are teaching students. You can practice the language with your friends, colleagues outside. Maybe when you are alone at home. Classroom is not a place for language practice. Classroom is a place for teaching students. So that's why you have to speak very clearly. Okay. Provide students with enough time to formulate their responses. Give them time, wait time. When you ask students a question, wait. Do not expect them to answer you quickly, promptly, instantly. No. Give them some time to formulate, to arrange the response in their mind. Why? Why give them time to prepare the answer? Because they are thinking in one language and producing in another language. It is not their own first language. It's English, it's Arabic, for example. It's Kurdish for those who are not Kurdish. They think in their own language, and they try to rearrange, formulate, create, form the answer. That's why we have to give them some time to think. We have to wait. That wait time is very important. Remember, in 2 languages, so it is very difficult. It is the process of code switching, we call it in English. We switch from Kurdish to English, from Arabic to English, and vice versa. Okay. After asking a question, we wait for a second before we ask students to answer. Okay. And I talked about this one. This is ELLS, English language learners, because we use this again in the coming slides. This is don't speak too fast. This is one of the okay, you are a teacher. If a student asks you, I don't understand what you said, never repeat the same formula as you said. For example, I'm giving some instruction to my, or you are giving instructions to your students. If a student said, sir or teacher or any name you give it, sorry, I didn't understand what you said. Do not repeat the same thing with the same speed. No, you have to slow down and change your style, because maybe they don't understand this style, but they understand another language structure. Point number 3, and by the way, there are 6 pointers. So, use of non-linguistic. Non-linguistic, linguistic, it means language. لغة. Non-linguistic, it means things, telling them things without using language. Like, for example, your hands, or body language, pictures. Okay. Visual, this is a visual. That slide is a visual. It's sketches, drawings, simple drawings, basic drawings, gestures, like this one, gestures. Yes, go ahead. And intonation. Intonation, it is the melody of your voice. So when you're just raising and falling, intonation. Okay. Why we use it? Because it makes language and content more accessible, more clear. Sometimes students don't understand the language, but they understand the picture. They can understand you from the picture. Okay. Yes. This one, don't do it. What to avoid regarding use of non-linguistic? Don't stand in front of the students and just talk, just lecturing. No, sometimes show them a picture silently without saying anything. It would be very helpful. That's, let's say, I just wanted to show the non-linguistic. Point number 4, giving instruction. They have a test, they have an activity. How are you going to explain what they are required to do? What to do? How you tell them your requirements? What do your expectations? Giving instructions. It's not only verbal, not only language. It's better to write on the board, whether it is so both verbal and written instruction. Learners, especially ELLS. It's not only for language learners, it's for all learners. Mathematics, biology, psychology, sociology, anywhere, medicine students, all of them. Instructions should be written if possible. Why? Why do you have to write instructions? Because this question is very common by learners. If you have been a teacher even for 1 year, I'm sure you have you've experienced it. What are we supposed to do? When you give instruction in the middle of the task, in the middle of the activity, you say, okay, teacher, what do we need to do? So, and then you have to repeat. And then you have to repeat for every single, not every single, I mean, at least for half of the students. No, if you write, you can just point to, okay, read this. If you forgot the instruction, so it's better to write the instruction. Okay, so I'm about. So, yes, these are written instructions. You can put it in a slide, or in a poster, just tape it to the wall and color the pictures, color it, draw it, circle around animals. Okay, this is animal. So if you forgot what to do, whether it is circle or square, you can just write the instructions. 5, check for understanding. You teach for example, for 1 hour or for 2 hours sometimes. Okay, how are you going to check whether they've understood or not? Are you giving them just to say, okay, did you understand? This is a very old-fashioned style. So according to this, yes, we have to ask them. Some teachers say no, make a quiz or some questions, but do not say, do you understand or not? Because I'm going to answer this question, just right. They may say yes, but they are pretending to say yes. Regularly check students understand the lesson. Okay. For example, you can tell students, it's just like a game and it is also motivating. If you understand very well, do this. If you didn't understand, do this. If you so you understand some and you didn't understand some information, you can just sideways put your finger sideways. So it's a kind of game, and it is fun for students, and you can understand whether your lessons were useful for them or not, the message conveyed or not. Okay. I'm going to be a bit quick. That one, it's a kind of game also. Students can do it to tell you whether they have understood or not. This one is, I get it, I understand everything. I kind of somehow get it, I need a little help. And I don't get it, I need a lot of help. So you can check whether your teaching was good or not. Okay, why checking understanding? Why do we want to check whether the students have understood or not? Okay? They become aware. When you ask them understand or not, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, once, twice, thrice, 4 times, so they get used to it. And every day, even if you don't tell them, they ask themselves, they become responsible for themselves. Whether teacher asks me whether I understand or not. So after each lesson, they ask themselves without being warned by the teacher. And they say, okay, what I learned from this lesson, was it useful or not? Was it good or not? Okay. And they become, we have a word for this. When learners are responsible for themselves, we call it autonomous learners. They don't need the help of teacher. They are responsible for their own learning. Okay. Check for understanding. Don't simply ask whether you understand or not. Why? This one is very important. Sometimes they are just being polite. They are not polite. They are pretending to be polite. They are behaving. You say, was it clear? They say yes, and they smile. Yes, but this is just pretension. It's not true. They just want to tell you that we respect you. Okay. So telling only just, do you understand or not? They say yes, or nodding heads, yes. Don't say it, no. Sometimes ask questions about the topic, and do not expect that all the students will understand you. Okay, am I Lambda? Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Last one, the end is near. Encourage development. Okay, yeah. Using first language, لغة. Okay, what do you think? Is it good or not to be used inside classroom? When you are teaching English, for example, teaching Arabic, I mean, student is first language, student is mother tongue. Is it allowed to? Yes, according to this. That's why I've included all these. This is in Arabic, in English, maybe in Russia, in Chinese, also in Pakistani. Okay. Yes, it is very good to use, to allow students to use their first language. Why? Because classroom is not a prison. They have to feel safe. So I'm not going to talk about all these details it is better to allow them, to permit them to use. Why? Because when they use their first language, even outside classroom, they understand, they develop reading. So, and that developed reading, understanding concepts in Kurdish or in Arabic, when they understand it, we have something we call a transfer, the effect of mother tongue on the foreign language. So, and that, it will also transfer to your English. You can understand it better. Understanding a text, a whole text, or a book, a novel, when you understand it in your first language, it also affects the understanding for the foreign language. So reading in first language is very important for reading in second language or foreign language. Why it is good? Reading in your first language, outside classroom or maybe inside classroom? Phonological awareness, comprehension skill, which is very important. How you understand, if you don't understand the text in Kurdish, how will you expect them to understand the text in English? So, because reading is a very important skill. And background knowledge is very important. Knowledge can be, let's say, it is obtainable. You can obtain knowledge not only from English language, from Arabic, from Kurdish, from any language. So, if you have some knowledge about something in Kurdish, when you read it in English, it will help you to understand it better. Okay, for example, you read about psychology in Kurdish, in Arabic, and you know a little English. When you read the same topic in English, psychology, you will understand it better than someone who has not any information about psychology before. Okay, that was the 6 pointers to do. And what? Okay, I'm finished. I'm sorry. Okay, do not ban students from using first language inside classroom. Do not prohibit them. Why? Because if you become language police. You are not the language police. Use that language, don't use that language. You are a language coach. You train them. Just like, let's say, the football coaches. They tell them what to do and what not to do. But if you prohibit them from using first language, so they will not feel safe and they hesitate, anxiety spreads over the classroom, and it affects them again. They cannot. That's all 6 pointers. So to wrap it all, this is not a complete guide. It's not a complete guide. It was just some information about what to do, what not to do, and they are just basic, very basic, which is general, and I'm sure you have some more things to add. And thank you. Yes. So yes. Yeah. We start from right hand. Yes.
Mr. Kawa,
yes.
Great presentation. You good topic. If I'm asking you a question, are you teaching at the classroom translation method or the communicative method?
That's a good question. I forgot to tell that this presentation is about teaching language, not teaching theoretical subjects like linguistics, like psychology. It is just for teaching language. And this one, this is general. It's general. Even when this question was personal for me, myself, when I teach language, okay, at the same time, okay.
If we teach them translation method, you will destroy the language.
Yeah, exactly.
We are not teaching English.
Yes.
We are teaching Arabic or teaching Arabic.
Okay, yeah, you know, sir. Yes.
Let us have a tendency in our teaching and learning the process to let students be communicative.
Exactly.
Either inside the class or outside the class.
Okay, will you expect my answer?
Yes.
Okay, we have some methods for teaching languages. GT method, grammar translation method, direct audiolingual, And then the new methods, we have communicative methods. Okay, to me, no method is perfect. We have to be eclectic. We have to choose. Sometimes if students do not understand you at all, they are very, very beginners. So what shall you do? They don't understand even a word from you. We have to use first language. In this case, yeah. But when they are intermediate or upper intermediate students, yes, you are right. We have to use communicative language. When I teach, I try to be selective. Sometimes, even at college, I allow students, when it is about the concept, understanding the concept, it is to use some, let's say, some words, some structures.
It's an abstract concept.
Yeah.
But if it is dynamic, you can use these strategies that you mentioned.
Okay. Yes. But only one of them is about, let's say, using first language. You can ignore that. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kawa, about your seminar. Okay, Mr. Kawa, just have got some questions for you.
Yes, some.
Yes.
Yes.
With your title about
Do's and don'ts.
don'ts.
Yeah.
What do you think about the title?
Actually, as I said before,
For me, I don't recommend.
what's the command?
I don't say that I do.
Okay, what's the offensive? Sorry, if it is offensive.
Somehow tough.
Okay, it was tough. Sorry for that. Okay.
It's okay. Because
Yeah.
you're speaking and delivering for English teachers.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you know that very well about the title exactly, like every teachers and all the methodologies, approach, techniques, strategies, concepts about, especially about the personal traits of the teacher, right? So more than 50% about the person, how do you behave with your students inside the classroom, correct? This is the first thing. About concerning to the second point about speaking fast.
Okay. Shall I answer one by one or?
As you like.
Okay. Okay. First one, it was a comment about do's and don'ts. So yeah, you are right. It is. You know, this is written. The book was written by specialists, so they feel very confident in power. So do's and don'ts. You have to do this. So you're right. I agree with you. Okay.
Okay, speaking fast, concerning with the speaking fast, for example, we sometimes should go and slow down in the spontaneous, for example, overflow of our speech with students.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not all time we should follow these strategies because it depends on the level of the students. The universal standards of levels, English levels, is more than 6.
I like the word it depends.
Okay.
I like the word. It depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
Because, for example, the students at the elementary or the beginner, okay, in the beginner level, starter level, we shouldn't speak with that students very fast, but let them get the chance to acquire, not just to learn. It is the first. There is a big difference between acquiring language and learning a language.
And
This is the second.
yes. Okay.
About the speaking.
I'm afraid if I forget your.
We should go fast sometimes for pre-intermediate and intermediate students. We should speak to them some fast and to give them some listenings, recorder, right? Regarding to let introduce the students, or let the student introduce to native speakers language, whether it's American or British language, Australian, Indian, it depends. This is the second. About teachers should be put in challenge. Okay, there is a big difference at challenge, right? There is a big difference between the teacher and students.
Yes.
We shouldn't like that, but we should put the students in challenge.
Yes. I said a bit.
Give them some difficulty.
A bit above. A bit.
Yeah,
A bit.
I do agree with you.
Yeah.
But the teacher should let students translate to their own language. I absolutely, extremely do not agree with you.
Which one? Sorry.
About the teacher should let give them some points. Why? Why should I give a student an opportunity to think? Okay, I give him the opportunity to think, but I let him think as an immediate reaction to behave like an authentic classroom, not non-authentic. Because we do not have authentic classroom, right?
Yes.
We create that atmosphere to make it non-authentic, but it's not authentic. We create that authentic classroom.
Okay.
Okay, for example, it's an authentic. I shown something about books. What do you think about these books? I signed with the books. I don't let them think what is book to tell them it's kitab.
Yes.
I don't give them this opportunity to think. I directly go to the book. I said that's a book. And just about the authentic, another thing, I don't agree with the translations method, but I do not, for example, really much I myself do not agree with this method. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Regarding first question, whether learning or acquisition, it's about the aim of the class, whether it is for accuracy or fluency. Yes, if the aim is fluency, you have to talk very fast, because yes, and as you said, but if it is the aim is accuracy, we have to be a bit slower. So, and as I said at the end of the, it is.
To give them some another point, to let them not to think, but we need let them to rephrase and to understand the context, not the text, and rephrase in another way. Even if they don't understand the native speakers, oh, I am a teacher English language. Okay, just I let them understand.
Okay, we are talking about language learners. They are learners. When you ask them a question, they have the answer in their first language. They can answer promptly, quickly in their first language. But in English, they need to arrange the grammar. Okay, how I say to choose the word. Okay, what word should I use?
What I'm worried right now, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is an obstacle, right? For me, as a symbolic obstacle, that I take all this my class inside the school, not this class I mean, to let the student the wide range, not to put the students in a very, like say, Zoom spot.
Okay.
So mistakes are normal to students. So
Yes.
I let them do mistakes.
Yes.
Sorry, Ustaz, is that a question or a point of view? You should ask a question, not point of view.
Okay. Yeah.
It's okay, thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you very much. I would just say, teaching to the most extent is subjective, is personal. Yes. Any more?
Yes,
Yes, say it please.
yes, many thanks for the good presentation for this seminar. I have some opposition point that I could stand against you, my good colleague.
Against me or against my ideas?
No, against your opinions, because this is, our opinion should be changeable.
Yes, of course.
And I respect your point of view.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt you. It is a seminar. It is not a lecture. I get benefit from you also. Yes.
Same to you. The first thing that you have just mentioned that for students you should allow to use their mother tongue.
Sometimes, yes.
How would you justify that matter, please, my good colleague? Because we have heard that it's not allowed. It's not
Okay.
allowed.
I didn't say that that the teacher should explain the topic, the subject in their first language. I said you have to allow them sometimes among themselves to use. Not teaching is like grammar translation, translating and teaching them grammar. This is SVO and translating vocabularies. Just allow them sometimes to talk, to use their first language among themselves. Not teaching with grammar translation method. No, I didn't say it.
Because the culture will be different from language to other, as you know.
Exactly. And this is just for, to providing them with freedom inside classroom, just to think that they are free, they can use